Hello everybody, welcome back by a new video, and today it's time for the light bulb collection again. And in this episode we are going over all my party light bulbs, so colored light bulbs. And this might become our longest video that we've made yet, so let's just start, because we have a lot to go through again. We are going to start with this bulb, which is a black light LED, but the paint is coming off and it's not really good quality. It's from Sunlight. I bought it in France 3 years ago. Then we have our first incandescent bulb, which is this Splendor 20-watt one. I bought this at a restore, and I think that Splendor made one of the best party light bulbs, because these have a really good color. Here we have a tiny blue LED bulb from Nova line. I bought this in Italy a year ago. It has a really deep blue color and it's actually pretty bright as well. We have one from the same brand, but then in green. As you can see, the filaments are green here. And it has a pretty deep color as well. I'm not going to talk about this. And then we have this Phillips Incandescent. It's red. It's probably like a heat bulb, or it looks like that. It's 40 watts and it has a E14 socket. Then we have a Philips bulb 60 watts, 40, sorry, with an interesting color. It's like blue-green in a pretty old socket, and it's a pretty nice color. Here we have a black light incandescent 60 watts. I don't know from which brand it is. I also don't know where I got this from. Here we have an incandescent bulb from an unknown brand. It's, I think, 60 watts, red. Pretty nice. I bought this at a restore, I think half a year ago. It doesn't really count as a party light, but here we have another daylight colored bulb, and I bought this at a restore as well. Here's one from the same brand as the red one, and also 60 watts, but then in yellow. So now we are going over some older bulbs. Let's start with this one, which is a very old blue incandescent, as you can see, with a old socket as well. 220 volts, 60 watts from Philips. Here's another one from Philips. I think this one is a bit newer. It's 220 to 30 volts. If it wants to focus on it, yeah, it does. 25 watts. It's doesn't give much light at all, since it's like a very deep blue color. Here we have a blue one from Philips as well, but this is an LED. 3.1 watts. These come like in a 4-pack, I think, with all the colors. But I only did save the package of twice of them, I think. Here's a purple one, but this one isn't from Philips. I bought this in Italy last year from the brand Extra Star. The color is very bad of this thing. It's not very deep. Here we have a flare bulb, which I bought, I think, half a year ago as well, for the light string that I have outside. It's LED, I think. Yeah, it's LED. 4 watts. Pretty deep color as well. It's actually pretty bright too. Here's another one from these flare bulbs. It's the exact same. Eek. Then it's time for the only two colored CFLs that I have from Amy Power. Bought it in Italy, 11 watts, E27. Very good color. Color is pretty deep. As you can see, some bugs did get on the CFL. Then we have 4 bulbs that have a very old video on my own channel that I made before the lamppost channel was a thing. My old and own channel is called Tobias van Dien, just like my name. And let's start with the green one. Which is 60 watts from Elisa. I don't know what kind of brand that is. This one still has its color, as you can see. Here is one from Sylvania. This one's probably a bit older. And this is the yellow version. Then we have one that's just a long life bulb. I don't even know if that's a brand, also 60 watts. But as you can see, it lost all, it's losing its paint. That was in the old video too. Same story with this one. And doesn't even have a brand. I think these all come from like a disco bulb by fixture I once bought a lot of years ago. I don't know if this counts as like a party light bulb or color bulb, but this is a flame incandescent. It's 40 watts. Never mind, it's 3 watts. Sorry. I think those flame bulbs are pretty funny bulbs. Then we have this weird, I think it's a heat bulb too, that I once bought at a restore. It doesn't really have any information, but it has a cool shape. Yeah, it's probably a heat bulb or a red bulb. All I know is that it uses 200 watts. Now it's time for two very old incandescents, which is this orange one, which is really dirty, but I don't want to clean it because I'm scared that I'm going to remove the paint. It doesn't really have any information about it. I'm guessing it's a Phillips bulb. I don't know, it looks really old. And I never turned it on as well. Because I don't know if it's like 220, 230 or 240 volts. Maybe it's 40 or something. I don't know. Here's another old one which does have some information that it's 220 volts, 15 watts from Philips. But yeah, as you can see, this one is losing its coating as well. Then we have like a pretty funny candle bulb, a green one. I think these are pretty funny as well. I don't know where these are used for. But yeah, they are cool. Not that it's from a well-known brand or something. It doesn't really have a brand on it. All it says that it's 25 watts and 230 volts. So as you can see, we now have a big box with packaging and all kinds of bulbs that are in the packaging. But please remember that I bought most of these at a restore and that most of them don't have their original package, or it's like a, for example, a Funlight packaging, but there's a Philips bulb with a different color in it, so prepare for that. And we'll go over both of them. So let's start with these that I talked about, the 3.1 watts, very small Philips LEDs, green. As you can see, these were cheaper than normal. Yeah, nothing to say. They have a pretty good color. Here we have a Sylvania 15 watt bulb, which I bought at a store. It is a E14 green. Don't really have much colored E14 bulb, so this was nice. Bought it at a store for, what was it? 70 cents. Really nice, old packaging as well. So here's the Funlight one, which says it has a 40 watt yellow bulb on it. I think Funlight is just a company that makes colored bulbs for like those light strings. Maybe they sell them too. But there's a yellow Philips one in it. Party tone, 15 watts. Very nice, but it isn't a very nice yellow color. Then we have the Splendor ones, which do have a video on our channel. This is actually, it says that it's orange, but it has a blue one in it. This is probably my own fault that I didn't put like the Splendor one in this package. Now we have a Philips one in here. A blue one, 25 watts. This one barely gives light. But yeah, it's a pretty deep color, but you can't really see it that well. Then again, I don't know if this counts as a color bulb, but it's a pretty funny little bulb that I will make a video about someday. It's like a sort of a flame bulb, but it looks pretty stupid when you turn it on. But when you put like something white around it, it's like the picture shows, it's pretty funny. It's 40 watts, and I don't know which brand made it. Igloo lighting. Then we have a Lucy 40 watt bulb, but that isn't what's in the packaging, because there's a Philips 15 watt party tone in there, a small one as you can see. But these suck since you can't even see when it's turned on. And then we have a Philips, like one of those LEDs again, the red one, which doesn't really want to go out of the packaging. It's a pretty deep red color. These are better than the old party tone incandescents. And here we have the best colored LED bulbs in my opinion from Splendor. Really nice deep orange color. 20 watts. It's actually pretty bright as well. Yeah, I love these bulbs. They're pretty nice in color, and I bought 5 of these for 20 cents at a restore, so that's extremely cheap as well. Then we have a Pila one, but there's an Osram one in here. But it is actually a 25 watt bulb. So, made in Poland, blue. Yeah, pretty interesting. Here we have a flare. These are pretty interesting bulbs. I think there's a video about these on our channel too. 4 watts, and these are extremely bright for 4 watts. As you can see, they have a colored spiral filament. Very interesting. Hornbach is the only shop that sells these. But if you want like pretty bright, interesting colored bulb, I would suggest buying these, since these are pretty interesting. I also have a blue one, but I'm actually using that one in my room, so can't really show it. But I do have the packaging here. Here we have the packaging. It's not very different than the other one. This one's actually, it says 4 watts here, but 5 watts here, which is weird. 1 second, turn on, yeah, all that information. Really nice. It shows in the picture that it has a blue filament, but it actually has like a clear filament. Here we have another candle from Quantum, which is a Dutch shop. Here it is. It has been used, as you can see. And yeah, these are 15 watts and E14 socket. Pretty nice. Here we have one from GE, a 25 watts one, which says that you can only use it inside, but I think I use these outside as well. 25 watts, and yeah, the logo isn't very visible anymore. But also, these have a pretty nice color, just like these Splendor ones. Maybe the orange color is just the easiest to make. Here we have the 60 watt version, which is a tad bigger. And the logo is actually still on here, but probably because I've not used these yet. Might make a video about these in the future. Here we have a Osram 11 watt green one, which I bought in Berlin 4 years ago. still remember that somehow. This one also doesn't give much light, but it's a pretty weird, interesting light, I would say. I really like these. Also that they still use like the golden base. It's pretty funny. 240 volts, 11 watts. Also really like the packaging of these. I don't know. They look pretty unique. But their energy tag is nothing to write home about. But yeah, 11 watts isn't that much, but yeah, you barely get light for that. Might have used it as a night light too when I was younger, like 3-4 years ago. Then we have a EGP. Yeah, it looks. They say that it's like yellow, but it's actually brown. Which yeah, I don't have many. I don't. This is my only brown party bulb, but it's an ugly color. 25 watts, 230 volts. Pretty nice. I don't know what this number stands for. But yeah, pretty interesting color. That's all I will say about this. We only have a few left, which is this Pila. But yeah, nice. A Philips Darkroom, which this doesn't really count as a party bulb, but I didn't really know where to put it under. So here we have a Philips 220 volts, 230 volts, pretty old. As you can see, the paint's coming off as well. Yeah, this one is used in Second World War. There's some, which I didn't even notice. There's a little paper in here. Which yes, might make a video about these bulbs in the future too. If people are interested in seeing that. The packaging is a bit messed up, but I don't know why it looks like a party bulb on the packaging. Might not be the original packaging, I don't know. So here we have another Splendor, but I've shown those. Then we have these two old Philips Christmas bulbs. Or what are these? I think Christmas bulbs. Yeah, it's really hard to read what's on here. Philips 125 or 230 volts. Maybe that these are American bulbs. I don't know. And they at least have a really weird design, but yeah, they might be American bulbs. Then we have a little fluorescent color, a black light fluorescent. The last one is this Philips Flute light, which is, if I get it out of the packaging, oh, there goes the packaging, but it's blue. Really interesting. I have never turned it on honestly, so I can't really say if it's a good blue color. But I bought it purely for the packaging, since like, let's be honest, it's a really nice packaging. Very colorful. But that were all the bulbs. Yeah, this video is way too long. But anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know if you want a video about any of these bulbs, and see you in the next video.